Good morning, class. So today we're looking at volume and external surface area of a prism. This is our third lesson, dealing with a section of work, okay? So we are on exercise page 120. I must do number 2.8, is that correct? Right. So 2.8, so we must calculate the volume, which is area of base times height. So what type of shape is this base?
A semicircle.
There's a semicircle and a square. Yes, how do you know it's a square? Because both sides are equal. Not so. So it's a composite shape. A composite shape means to say there's more than one shape to make up that shape. Okay. So if you're looking at the area of this base, the semicircle plus a square times the depth of the object. How do you calculate the area of a semicircle? Pi square divided by 2. Okay? Plus area of a square, side square, the side times height. So let's do the substitution. It's going to be a half pi. What's your odd value? So remember that your diameter, your radius is going to be 14. So it's 14 squared plus 28 squared, so the sides of the rectangle of the square, times the height, which is 85. Let's do that quickly. So it's going to be open brackets, so half pi times 14 squared plus 28 squared times 85. What did you guys get? 92,809. Good. 92,809, comma 47 units cubed. Because they didn't specify an SI unit, so SI units cubed. Total surface area is going to be perimeter of base times height plus 2 area of base. Okay. So the perimeter of the base, of course, is going to be this length here, which is a semicircle. The arc of a semicircle plus there are 3 lengths of 28. D times 3, distances times 3, or lengths which is L times 3, times height plus 2. Area of base is exactly this here. Not so. So it's going to be a half pi of squared plus side squared. Okay. So that will be simply, how do you calculate the circumference of a circle? 2 pi, but it's half of it. It's half times 2 pi, and my radius is 40 plus the distance here around it is 28 times 3 times the height, which is 85 plus. So there's 3 28s. 1, 2, 3 28s. Remember that the perimeter is that part. Can you see? It's not that. It's not times 4. Does that make sense, people? Times a half pi, and what's my radius? 14 squared plus 28 squared. Okay, so let's check. So it's going to be two. It's the base, so it's going to be open brackets half times 2 pi times 14 plus 28 times 3 times 85 plus 2. I get 13,062, is that correct? Does anybody else get that answer? Huh? Right, let me just check. So you see times 4 under the distance. Okay. Let me just check first if I'm correct. 2.8. 13,062 is correct. Right, so where do you guys go wrong? You all times it by 4. But you understand why not? Okay, and so take the calculator away there. So that you can see the calculation. And went into play there. Okay? Any comment on this question? No? Right, then we went on to 2.9. 2.9. We did 2.8 now, so 2.9. Alright. So that the total external, so okay, firstly volume. How do you calculate volume? Area of base times I. So if you look at this base, we're going to make this our base here. Okay? So if you look at this base, we have actually a rectangle and a semicircle. Can you see that? A rectangle and then cut out. This is a 15 by 8 minus a semicircle that was cut out. Can you see that, people? Also a composite shape. You see, this is actually, if I had closed that, that was part of the semicircle, above the rectangle. Can you see that? But by removing that, I must subtract the semicircle. Can you see that, people? Times the height. What is the radius of the semicircle? So you see, this is 15, so that is also 15, not so? 15 minus 4? 11 minus 4? 7. How can you get 8? Hi, Bo. So what are we left with? 7. So that is your diameter there, which is 7, not so? So what's the radius? 3.5. Okay, so that's going to give you area of a rectangle, length times breadth, minus area of a circle, pi squared. But it's half of it, not so? Times I. So what's the length? 15 times the breadth is 8 minus half pi. What's the radius? 3.5. Squared times height, which is 60. Yes?
Don't you add the diameter?
Why would you add the diameter? The question says the volume, we pursue the volume. The volume is area of base times height. So if you had this shape here, and you are only asked to calculate the area, it's going to be the rectangle minus the semicircle. Not so? So why would you want to add the diameter? So the diameter is not part of it. Can you see? It's not part of the area of the circle. That's why I'm taking the semicircle away. Any other confusion? Any other confusion? Okay, so you can put it in the calculator. So it's open brackets 15 times 8 minus a half times pi times 3.5 squared times 60. Gives you 6,045. Comma 4, 6. Okay. And this is going to be units cubed. Okay. Any confusion there? Where did you guys go wrong here? Huh? You skip. Yes? It's not part. It is not part. So you're right. So what do? I must subtract it. Because if you're going to calculate the area of the circle only, then I'm including that semicircle. That is why I subtract the semicircle, because it's not part of it. So it's cut out. Make sense? Anybody else? That's the total external area, surface area. It's perimeter of base times height plus 2 area of base. Okay. So the top and the bottom. Sorry? It's closest. It's close because should be close. But you see, 60 in comparison to these readings here is fairly big. So if they close it here, then you're going to say, but if that is 60, how can that be 4? You understand? So they're just showing you part of it. If it was not closed, they would have told you the top is open. You understand? Since it wasn't specified, you must treat it as if it's closed. Okay? Makes sense? Anybody else? So the total surface area is the perimeter of this base. So the perimeter is going to be this length, which is 8 plus 15 plus 8 plus 4 plus that semicircle. How do you calculate the perimeter of a circle? 2 pi r. So it's going to be half times 2 pi. And what's my radius? 3.5. Plus times the height of the object, which is 60. Plus 2. Area of the base is that there, which is that there, which is this here. Not so. Do I have to rewrite all of those things again? No. I have it already. So it's 15 times 8 minus a half pi 3.5 squared. Okay. So this part here, I'm going to replace that with 2 times. Right, so we have open brackets, 8 plus 15 plus 8 plus 4 plus a half times 2 times pi times 3.5 close brackets, don't need close brackets, plus 4 close brackets times 16 plus I get 3,201 comma 2. 3,201 comma 2 units. Okay. Where do you guys go wrong here? Again with that semicircle, sorry. So if I'm you, if you had done the homework, okay, which most of you did, no? And you got it wrong. Did he do? For the person who's saying shh, clearly didn't do the homework. So you won't appreciate the explanation. You understand? But if you had done the homework and you had spent time and you thought about it, and the homework is being answered, what happens? You start appreciating. Okay? So I'm not going to check your book. I know you didn't do the homework.
Sure.
Come show me. You did all the homework? Well, so hard. What's wrong? Now we should drawing on the diagrams. Where's your total surface area? You didn't do that either. You didn't do the homework. So I'm right. Okay. And people, if you're having problems with this, come see us after school. We have classes Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. It's going to be in your exam. Make use of your resources. Okay? Otherwise, you can rewatch the video. But you guys said this video is too long, no? Yes? So I'm looking at the way of making it shorter. But that is only next year. I've started already by shortening the videos as well. No? So we're making videos, we're only doing examples. That is a bit short. But I'm going to first finish all these lessons, the full lessons. And then I'm going to come back and just do examples in the shorter videos. Then some of you don't need the whole lesson. No? Right, we are on exercise number 2.10, correct? Yes. Okay. The question says calculate the volume. How do you calculate volume? Area of base times height. So what type of shape is your base here? Quarter of a circle. How do you calculate the area of a circle? Pi squared. But it's quarter of, not so? Times height. So, it's a quarter. Pi. What's my radius? You see here? In the circle, there's only quarter of it. Can you see that? So what is the radius? 17. Okay? So it's 17 squared times height of 17. So you got 0.25, a quarter times pi times 17 squared times 72. It's 5202 pi, which is 16,342, comma 56 units. Okay. Any confusion there? That was fairly straightforward. I'm going to work on the total surface area. How do you calculate total surface area? Perimeter of base times height plus 2 area of base. Okay. So that is simply going to be, if I work out the perimeter, it's going to be a quarter of the circumference of the circle. Not so? Yes. How do you work that out? How do you calculate the circumference of a circle? 2 pi r. So I divide by 4, or 4 times 2 pi r. What's my radius? 17. So that is that part I highlighted. Plus the length of 17, plus the length of 17. So 17 times 2. Okay? So that's the perimeter of the base times the height of this object, which is 72. Plus area of the base is going to be 2 times the area of the base, the quarter of a circle, which is pi r, which is 17 squared. Pi squared. So you're going to go with quarter. We say perimeter of base times height. So open brackets is a quarter times 2 times pi times 17 plus 17 times 2 times 72 plus 2 times a quarter times pi times 17 squared is 4,824. 4,824 comma 61 units squared. Okay. Any mistake that you guys made here? Got this one right? Right? We done number 3 yesterday. We done number 4. You see number 5, yes? Number 5, we are told that the diagram represents a tent. You guys know what a tent is, no?
Yes.
Right. Kumiling, what are you busy with? Now you're not busy with your phone anymore, so you put it away. Sorry? So why is it on your book? Doesn't make sense. So you just take out your phone and you put it on the desk. And then you put it back. On the desk, and back. That's not normal. Okay? The diagram represents a tent. Determine the total area of the canvas. So basically the outside, the material on the outside. And this is material used to make the tent. So what are we calculating here? Volume or surface area? Surface area. Not so? So when you work out the total surface area, how do we work this out? External surface area. Perimeter of base times height plus 2 area of base. So what type of shape is this base? Triangular base. So the perimeter of the triangle times height plus twice area of base, which is of base times perpendicular. So the perimeter, if I start here, it's going to be 5 plus unknown. That's unknown. That's all. But what do you notice here? You can use Pythagoras in triangle CDA. Not so. To calculate that unknown, I got 5 and I got 4 here. So state the theorem of Pythagoras, it would be 5 squared equals 4 squared plus AD squared. Pythagoras with angle D equals 90. Okay? So that's behind the calculator. For this part you don't have to state either. Not so? When do we have to state it? When we're busy with? Geometry. Or where else? When they state with reason. Okay? 5 squared is 25, minus 16 is 9. AD squared is 9. So AD works out to be 3. So that is now 3. And this is 3. So it's going to be 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 5. As you can see, that's one strip, one strip. That's the perimeter of the base. Times the height, which is 9 plus this part here, that cancels, not so? So it's plus, I don't need the space now. It's enough space here. Plus what? Base, what's my base? 6, and my perpendicular height is? That something gives us? Open brackets. 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 5 times 9 plus 6 times 4. Gives you 168. What? 168 meters squared. Okay. Alright, you guys got it? Okay. It's number 5. Number 6. Find the volume of the... What is that? Trough. What is a trough? Is that thing? Trough. Yeah. Basically you'll see it's for the animals, no? You throw water in or you throw feed in and what do you do? Yes? Okay. Find the volume of the trough in the diagram. So how do you calculate the volume? Area of base times height. Whatever shape is your base here? Semicircle. So it's going to be half. Area of the circle is pi squared times height. So if the diameter is 12, what is the radius? So it's going to be half pi 6 squared times height, which is, okay, so it's half pi times 6 squared times 18 gives us 324 pi, which is 1017 comma 88 centimeters squared. Any confusion there? Cubed, yes, absolutely. My mistake. Volume is 3 dimensions, so it's going to be cubed. Okay. Any confusion here? No? Number 7. The figure shows a coffee can with a plastic lid. Okay? The volume of the can. The volume of the can. So are we going to include or exclude the plastic lid? Exclude. So let's say the volume of the can. So how do you calculate volume? It's going to be area of base times height. So it's going to be area of a circle, pi squared times height. So it's going to be pi. The radius is, remember that is the diameter is 20, so the radius is 10. Squared times the height of 50. So it's pi times 10 squared times 50. So 1500 pi, which is 4712, comma 39 centimeter cubed. Okay. Yes? Did you not exclude it? Four, 7, 1, 2. The answer is right. The volume of the can. Or the height is 15 centimeters for the can. They're including the 15. Okay, so they're including 15. So let's just go with what they have. 7.2. The area of the metal needed to manufacture the can. Okay? So am I going to include that 15 now? Yes. Okay. Now I'm sure under that lid, the lid must be screwed onto something. So that is why they still have that 15. Okay. So total surface area is going to be perimeter of base times height plus 2 area of base. Okay. So the perimeter of the base is a circular base. It's going to be perimeter of the base 2 pi r. Not so? Times the height plus twice area of base, which is pi r squared. Why am I taking the 2 away? Because the top is not covered with metal. Can you see that? It's not closed, it's open top. Okay. There's going to be 2 pi, what's my radius? 10 times the height of 15 plus pi, the radius is 10 squared. 2 pi times 10 times 15 plus pi times 10 squared. Can I give you 400 pi? Which is 1256. 1256 comma 64 centimeters. 1256. 7.3. They want you to calculate the area of the plastic lid. The area of the how do you calculate the total surface area? The external area. Total surface area is perimeter of base times height plus twice area of base. You look at the plastic lid. So the perimeter of a circle is 2 pi times height plus twice area of base, which is exactly this here, not so? Right. It's going to be 2 pi. What's the radius of the lid now? It's also 10 squared times what's the height of the lid now? 1 plus pi squared. So it's pi times 10 squared. Why do I have a square here? I shouldn't have a square here, no? So something going to give us 2 pi times 10 times 1 plus pi times 10 squared. 120 pi, which is 376,99. 376,99. 99 centimeters squared. Three 114. They got 314. I made a mistake somewhere. What's my mistake? So I said 2 pi r. No, that is for the body times 1 plus pi squared. Just hang on. 2 pi times 10 plus 10 okay, what did you, where's my mistake, you say? So what must I take out here? If I take the 1 out, it's the same as having the 1 there. No, the plastic lid consists of that, which we have, and this here, which we also have. That's the area. The answer is wrong. Because in their calculation they have exactly this here. But they don't have this answer. So this answer is correct. I would stick with it. You can come see here. Come see. Number 7. The area times height, which is 2 pi times 10 plus that. So that is what they mean to calculate. So they made a mistake. Okay? 376.9. They didn't say the area of the circle only, the circular part of the lid only. So we assume it's the whole thing. But they made a mistake in their calculation. Okay? Because of this is exactly what they have in them. Okay? That's number 7. Number 8. It says, find the total surface, total external area of the following figure. The total external area. So how do I work that out? This one was in your exam, no? Yes. In your test yesterday, on Tuesday, wasn't it? Not this one. Okay, so for the surface area, it's going to be perimeter of base times height plus 2 area of base. As you can see, there's a composite base here again, not so? It is made up of a semicircle. Oh, let's start here. What is this length? So the perimeter is going to be 1,7 there, plus 0,8 plus 1,7 plus, that's semicircle. Not so? How do you calculate the perimeter of a semicircle? So it's a half times 2 pi, and my radius is from there to there. Remember the diameter is 0,8, the radius is 0,4. Okay? 0,4. You all okay with that? Yeah, I think I must write it neater. Let's go again. So let's go again. The perimeter of the base, I'll start here, which is 1.7. I'm getting it from here. 1.7 plus 0,8 plus 1.7 plus that semicircle. The perimeter of a circle is 2 pi r. The radius of this is going to be 0,4. It's half of that thing. 0,4 divided by 2 or half times that. Times the depth of the object, which is 5, plus twice the area of the base. The area is going to be made up of a semicircle, which is pi r squared. Half pi r squared divided by 2. So it's pi 0,4 squared divided by 2 plus the area of this rectangle, which is 0,8 times 1.7. Open brackets. 1.7 plus 0.8 plus 1.7 plus 2 pi times 0.4 over 2 times 5 plus 2 upper brackets pi times 0.4 squared divided by 2 plus 0.8 times 1.7 gives you 30,51. Okay. Meters. Who got that right? No? Where did you go wrong? Huh? Bring your book, let's see. Why didn't you have a bracket around it? So it's 2. So that you got, yes, that's right. 0.8 you got. 2 of that's right. So you must take it. Then you got. Why not multiply this by 2? That can't cancel because there's a plus thing. So you keep it like it. Keep the 2 on the outside. Otherwise you put it. You see that? Yeah. Your mistake. Your brackets is not in the right place. Yes. People, this here, that can never cancel with that. Why? Because of that plus between them. No? Yes. Can't happen. Okay. Let's look at the next question. Question 9. Determine the area of the carpet on the stairs. The area of the carpet on the stairs. Okay. So if this, so we got 1, 2, 3 of that type. Not so? Yes. And then 1, 2, 3 of that type. Okay. So in other words, The area of the carpet is going to be 3 multiplied by the first type indicated plus 3 multiplied by the second type indicated. Not so. How do you calculate the area of, if you look here now, okay? This is 18. You see that length is 18. So we need to know that length from there to there. So if this is 10 centimeters and 10, which makes this 60. Can you see that? And this here is 20. 20, 20. So that's going to be 20. Can you see that, people? Does it make sense? So it's going to be 60 times 20. I don't need the bracket yet. Right. The one with the dots. What is this length here? The same as this here, not so? So it's 60 times this length here is the same as that length, which is the same as that, which is 50. Simple. So it's going to be 3 times 60 times 20. As I said, you don't need that bracketing. Plus 3 times 60 times 50. Gives us 6,300 centimeters square. Okay. Last one. Number 12. Number 10, sorry. 12 condensed milk. We spoke about the condensed milk in the grade 8 syllabus, no? You all said you know what it is and what it tastes like, no? 2 milling. You drink condensed milk? You don't know what condensed milk is? You do? You don't drink condensed milk in your tea? You drink it this one? You drink it this one? Or you take it with a spoon and eat it? Nice. Right. So we told that 12 condensed milk cans are packed into a box. Each has a diameter of 4. Okay. 4 centimeters. Also has a height of 4 centimeters. Find the volume of the remaining space in the box. Anybody work this one out? Okay, well, what do you think needs to be done? So which so the condensed milk, the volume of the condensed milk, no? Minus the rectangular box. Which one's going to be bigger? The box. So it's actually the volume of the box minus the volume, not the area, the volume of how many condensed milk? 12. So in other words, the volume of the space left would be the volume of the box minus the volume of 12 cans of condensed milk. Not so? Right. How do you calculate the volume of a box? Length times breadth times height. Yeah, rectangular base. Not so? Minus 12 times. How do you calculate the volume of a cylinder? Pi or area of base times height. Okay. So let's look here. One condensed milk can measures 4 by 4. Not so? So what's the radius of a can? 2. And the height? 4. So there's no problem. So it's minus, so it's negative 12 times pi. My radius is 2 square times. Now coming back to the length, the breadth and the height of this box. What is the height of this box? 4. Because of the can which fits into. What is the length? 16. How do you get 16? So it's 4, 8, 12, 16. So the 4, no? So it's 16. The base is 16. So the height is 10. Sorry, the height is 4, the base is 16. And what is the breadth? 12. How do you get that? So it's 4, 8, 12. Can you see? So it's 12 times 16 times. It looks complicated, yes, but is it complicated? Not at all. Okay? So I came up with the sum in the exam, you say. You didn't know how to do it now? 164,81. 164,81 centimeters. Okay. Any confusion? This was a nice one. Yeah? Yes. People, this basically brings us to the end of this exercise dealing with volume and total surface area. Okay. Tomorrow we're going to start the next topic. Okay. Finance. Now we just need to cover trinomials. We're going to do all the trinomials tomorrow. Okay. We're going to start tomorrow with our trinomials. So have a good night's rest. I'm not giving you homework today. 2 million. Be on time, ne? Right, I'm going to stop the video at this point.